Well, hello, 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 my Capricorn collective sun, moon, rising signs. Welcome to your What Do I Need read for this new moon in Aries to full moon next in Libra, March to April 2020. I am your reader, Mark Angelo, Lyons, Mel for short, professional witch, professional intuitive, and fellow earth sign. Very, very happy to be in service to you, a Virgo sun sign that I am. If you are new to my channel, please do like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, because you know I'm a little unpinned from time. I mean, I work from home all the time anyway, but yeah, my schedule is a little nuts. In other words, I'm eating when I'm hungry, I'm sleeping when I'm tired, I'm meditating and praying in between when I'm not doing these reads, and super chats, prayer and meditation, spiritual guidance for the masses. So yeah, at least you'll know when I'm putting stuff out, even if it's 3 in the morning, right? When I get the inspiration, I can act on it. Cool? That being said, this is a What Do I Need read. It is a 7-card draw, working with 7 different decks, all of which are listed in the bottom of my description box to give credit where credit is due, although I call them out as I use them. It's only 7 cards, right? So it's not even a spread. It's not linear, past, present, future, in a timeline of 7 or anything like that. They're just little pieces of clarity, little clues, tips, and hints from my different pantheons that I've been working with my entire life to give some guidance and grace. Really, I'm just the channel. So by all means, remember, this is a general reading. Please take what resonates, leave what does not, and check your other signs, right? Because what might, like one card might be really central to one person and be like, meh, for you. But that can also be true if you check one of your other signs. Cool, cool, cool. We are looking at new moon in Aries, which is this Tuesday, March 24th. I'm actually doing this on the Sunday before that. Dark moon in Pisces. I'm a Pisces moon. Very intuitive, but a little sensitive. A little moody. Working on it. I'm breathing through it. Loving what rises and all of that. But keep in mind, a new moon in Aries on a Tuesday. You only get one new moon in Aries a year. And it's always in March, that we know, because it's Sun conjunct Moon in the sign of Aries. The first sign of the zodiac. Tuesday is ruled by Mars. Aries is ruled by Mars. Perfect for any type of initiation, starting anything, right? Anything for the first house, the self, the personality, the ego, self-love, self-healing, whatever. So powerful. I mean, I've been teaching witchcraft for decades, and we've been saying if you can ever nail the dismount on a new moon in Aries on a Tuesday, do it, right? So that's the 24th of March, and we're going into the full moon in Libra. It's opposite sign on the 7th of April, just so that you get, this is a timely, or you could say time. This is not a timeless reading. This is timed, right? If you can focus on your breath as we go, you'll watch me do it. Sometimes I call it out. I say, breathe, right? That keeps us anchored in the present moment so we can tune to the guidance and grace, including your own intuitive hunts? Your own intuitive hunches and hints, so that you can take what resonates and leave what doesn't. Cool, cool? Let's get down to biz. Nice deep breath. Oh, my Capricorns, I love you all so much. By the way, you were just mentioned rather heavily in the Sagittarian reading. You might want to check that out if you know any Sag, Sun, Moon, Rising signs. Cool. Or if you have them. Here we go. We're going to start with the angels, with the daughters of the moon. That's that next deck. We're going to start with the angels, with the Healing with the Angels Oracle, Doreen Virtue. Here we go. There you are, my angels. Please, one card in clarity for the Capricorn collective. Sun, Moon, Rising signs for this new moon in Aries to full moon next in Libra. What is it that they need to know about? Ooh, you kicked out one card. That one spit right out. So what is it that you need to know about, to be aware of, to keep your eye on, to keep your mind on? The card of listening. I really like this card because, like I said, with tuning to your intuition, right? Breathe, stay in the present moment so that you can listen to not just what's going on up here. Yes, clairvoyance and clairaudience, right? That's third eye and third chakra, clairvoyance, clairaudience. But then there's also the empathic part of it, which is driving a lot of the energy sensitives crazy, considering what's going on the planet right now, which I'm not going to address directly. But watch as I dance around it, right? Virgo, verbal Virgo that I am. So to listen to your body. You're an earth sign. Listen to your gut. Listen to your guidance and your grace that is coming at all of us constantly every day, not just in times of challenge and crisis like we're in now, but that you are able to really feel for yourself what's right for you, which may be not right for anybody else, right? To listen to that. Also to know that because this is coming from the angels, that the angels know exactly where you are and they're hearing you, right? But are you hearing them? Now, not that you need to be totally clairaudient to hear them, but if you are in prayer, if you are asking for help, if you are freaking out and saying, help me, you know, understand that the angels don't always drop anvils on your head like a Merry Melodies cartoon, right? It's not, they're not very Bugs Bunny Roadrunner that way. But it often comes subtly because they're never going to push you past where you're ready to go, but sometimes we have our own free will, freak ourselves out, right? So keep that in mind, listening. The angels are hearing you, they're listening to you, but are you listening to them? Make that a cooperative thing, right? A tandem thing, a mutual symbiotic relationship with your angels. And I notice that they come better when you're really honest and open about how you are and what you're feeling and what you're going through. Like, you don't have to dress it up with too much ceremony with the angels. They get it, right? Well, let's find out what that listening is about a little bit more with our next deck. This is the Daughters of the Moon Tarot. The voices of the goddesses, if you prefer, you could call it the voice of half the universal energy, the divine feminine, the divine yin. We have another deck for the gods, the divine masculine, the divine yang. So let's see what the divine feminine has to say about what you need this new moon to full moon next. Breathe. Oh my goddesses, please, one card in clarity for the Capricorn Collective. Sun, Moon, rising signs, this new moon in Aries to full moon next in Libra. What do they need? What do they need to be aware of? What do they need to know about? What do they need to be focused on for this new moon to full moon next March into April? Interesting. You got an earth sign court card, but Taurus. Now, of course, this can be about a Taurus person in your life, Sun, Moon, Rising, Mars, Venus, who cares? That they're going to play a role in some way. Maybe that's someone you are supposed to be listening to. However, if that is not the case, I am going to say that second house is about lifelong values like bedrock, fixed earth, things that you value. People will say money and abundance for second house. Sure, we value money and abundance in general in life. But what about honesty? What about your health, right? What are the physical tangibles that are of great value in your life, as well as your intangibles? I have been lied to a lot in this life and deceived, which is really hard on an energy sensitive, an empath, a divine feminine, because we really want to believe. We can often tune to the goodness of somebody's soul and be completely blindsided by the fact that they're lying their heads off, particularly if they're good at it or if they're compulsive liars, right? So, you know, for me, honesty is really a lifelong value. It is bedrock. You lie to me about your age, it's going to be hard for me to get over that for a while. And it might have nothing to do with you, right? Just because honesty is so important to me. I really do my best not to lie. And if somebody asks me a question, I will do my best to deliver truth in a compassionate manner, because truth without compassion is brutality, says His Holiness the Dalai Lama. And compassion is also a lifelong value for me, because I have been treated harshly in this life. Look, I'm a gay witch. I know there are other minorities that have it much worse than I do, but growing up in the time that I did, I'm going to be 52 this year, you know, I was born in the 60s, grew up through the 70s and into the 80s. It was rough, man, and I'm not playing victim here. It made me stronger, but that's why my values of compassion and honesty, among many others, bedrock for me. So maybe listen to that. Listen to your honor code. Your honor code usually manifests itself in the solar plexus. When something feels off, listen to that, trust that, value that. You with me? Good? I love Capricorns. I love Capricorns. You guys are you know, you hang in there. You're long haulers, right? Slow and steady wins the race, sure, but you usually have pretty clear boundaries that you value, and you put boundaries around that which you do value. So that's from the Divine Feminine, the voices of the goddesses. Let's ask the gods, the Divine Masculine, that other half of the universal energy, the Divine Yang. Or Yang, if you're from Long Island, oh my God, he's got his yin and his yang all over the table. Breathe. Let's keep it light, shall we? My gods, please. One card in clarity for this Capricorn collective. Sun, moon, rising sign. This new moon in Aries to full moon next in Libra. What do they need? What do they need to be aware of? What do they need to sense to kind of focus on this new moon to full moon next March to April 2020? Well, what do you know? It's the Capricorn card, the King of Pentacles. You got your own sign here, babies. Yeah, that is the GOAT. That is King Midas, right? The one who everything he touched turned to gold, which pretty much took masturbation off the menu, PDQ, pretty damn quick. So what is this saying from the Divine Masculine? It's saying be creative with your Earth, cardinal Earth. Really focus on what you value. Get into your creativity, whatever form that may be in. Not just creativity in terms of art, but about creating reality, or at least co-creating your reality. To really embrace and be aware of who you are, because it's, you know, what do they need to be aware of? What do they need to focus on? Focus on yourself and your Capricornian qualities. So for instance, if you're a Capricorn moon, do a little research of what it means to be and have a Capricorn moon, right? What does that mean in terms of your stability emotionally, about your creativity, emotionally, your rising sign, because these readings are for Sun, Moon, Rising. But also that entrepreneurial thing of turning lead to gold. The entrepreneur archetype definitely is about taking the ordinary and turning it into the extraordinary, though it may not always manifest in business. Highly, highly, highly creative. So with Taurus and Capricorn, Divine Feminine and Divine Masculine, that's a pretty neat combo there, considering not just both earth signs, but we've got the Great Corn Mother and King Midas. This feels rich. Now, maybe rich financially, but also rich like velvet, you know, like that feeling, or fettuccine Alfredo, a very rich dish, so to speak. Something with depth, something with flavor, literally or symbolically. I really like this feeling. Like, I have a king-size bed upstairs, 4-poster. I love that bed. And I've got, because it's winter, these kind of velvety, just really, really yummy, delicious, lush, rich bedspreads and covers and stuff. And I love getting into my pillow top bed, and it's just so that feeling. So with that card of listening, right, really listen to your values, your long terms. Make sure you're taking care of yourself. And, oh, I just heard this, keeping it in the eye, not the I, the letter I, keeping it in the eye. Keep to yourself a little bit, Capricorns. Usually good at boundaries that way. At least the sun signs I know are. The moons and the risings, maybe not. So keep an eye on that. There's something really wonderful. And I always say with Capricorn, slow and steady wins the race. A mountain goat might be able to play on a mountain, but it doesn't really run up and down a mountain, right? It's one hoof print. I almost said paw print because I have cats. One hoof print at a time, one step at a time. Cool? Introducing a new deck. I went up to Saratoga Springs to get a new car. Real quick, went up for a couple of days and stopped by the Magic Moon at Saratoga Springs. I love them so much, Veronica and the staff there. They're so cool. They're so wonderful. Though Veronica wasn't there when I popped in, I saw this deck, which I'm sure I saw before, but it called to me, and it is called the Angels, Gods, and Goddesses Oracle, which is interesting because I start with the angels, the goddesses, and the gods for these reads. It's by Tony Carmine Salerno. Now, it doesn't name the gods, the angels, and the goddesses by their given names, but by their title. So it's the god of this, the goddess of that, the angel of that, which is nice. You can, you know, it doesn't matter what pantheons you work with. Cool. Take a nice deep breath. Let's see what it has to say. Divine three-way. Well, technically four-way if I'm involved. Here we go. I'm glad that made them laugh. My angels, goddesses, and gods, please. One card in clarity for this. They just told me slow down. For this Capricorn collective, Sun, Moon, Rising Sign. What do they need? What do they need to be aware of? What do they need to focus on? What do they need to listen to for this new moon in Aries to full moon in Libra? What do they need, my angels? Please, a card of the angel, a card of the god, or a card of the goddess, please. What do they need? This new moon to full moon next, March to April 2020. Okay, this is a little intense. Like, I don't know if I said it before. I said it in other readings. This deck's a little forward. Angel of addiction healing. Maybe not your own, but maybe. Look, we all have our addictions. We'll go there in a minute. This is a time of positive transformation and healing. And there are snakes in the card. Okay. All right. Let's back this up a little bit, because that can be a little harsh, right? We all have our addictions. Addictions are ways in which we medicate our own psychological and or physical pain. And by psychological, I mean mental, emotional, all those spiritual pain, existential crises, and why am I here, and why am I still on this planet, I'm not getting what I want, and it's really rough, and this is a horrible time, and all that stuff. So addictions, we often go, we think drugs and alcohol. Hardly the only two. Food, sugar, sleeping, television, masturbation, sex. I mean, anything can be an addiction. It's not what you do, it's why you do it. What is the hidden motivation? What is the pain that you are dealing with here? Now, I gotta be honest with you, it does lighten it up, saying this is a time of positive transformation and healing. But with the angel of addiction healing, that can be a bit of a shock for anyone. Now, keeping in mind that we are also isolated right now, the tendency for people to not be able to access their external forms of addiction, and let's keep in mind, codependence, just as lethal to the happiness in your life as any other external addiction is. Addiction to worry, addiction to anxiety, right? So many forms that this can take. Romance addiction, intimacy addiction. I mean, it seems like we're cranking out another one, but looking at it, anything can be used that way. So to really get, like, what are your ultimate lifelong values here? And can you, isn't it funny, I said keep it in the eye, I said Alcoholics Anonymous, and here we are, the next card down, the angel of addiction healing. But let's keep in mind, with Capricorn, slow and steady wins the race. It is about boundaries, and no one heals an addiction overnight. So I like that it says this is a time of positive transformation and healing with the angel of addiction healing. Keep that in mind, and remember, this might not be about you. May not be. We all have our addictions. I know people in my life who are so addicted to being right that when they're proven wrong, they go into withdrawal. They can't sleep, they don't eat, they become non-communicative, right? It's hard because we medicate ourselves in all of these different ways. And I know this is kind of heavy for a what do I need reading, but considering we're starting new moon in Aries on a Tuesday, like I said early, very, 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 very powerful alignment for self-healing. Heal yourself even if you are dealing with someone else's addiction and process by listening to what they are saying and perhaps paying attention to what is not being said, or listening between the lines rather than reading. Cool? You've been read. Let's ask the higher selves of all involved here, because this, I have a feeling, might give a little extra piece of clarity with that, right? Nice deep breath. With it feels so good. With the Whispers of Love Oracle, please, the higher selves of all involved, please, one card in clarity for this Capricorn collective Sun, Moon, Rising Sign. What do they need for this new moon in Aries to full moon next in Libra? Please, one card in clarity, a whisper of love for them. What do they need to be aware of? What do they need to focus on? And if you can throw a little light on that angel of addiction healing, that would be truly helpful. Union of hearts, There is a connection of love that defies explanation, which absolutely reinforces that this could be about somebody else. If you are in a codependent relationship, understand that codependence was the norm for thousands of years. Really, the term wasn't even spawned until maybe, 20, 30, 40 years ago, maybe in the psychological community, 50, maybe in a small handful of people. And codependence definitely needs some research if you are unfamiliar with it. To say it's just people addiction is not quite entirely clear. There's a wonderful book called Codependent No More by Melody, Melody Beattie, Beattie, I think. If that is the case, and you are dealing with someone who has an addiction, it's about being an enabler, and you're being dependent on them while they're being dependent on you, and it sort of strangles the life force and the joy out of any relationship, and you stay because they are dependent upon you, and or vice versa. I know this is heavy-duty stuff, but this is a Capricorn read. Y'all are known for being the serious kind of long-haul stuff. So since we are in a time of isolation and healing, many people might not have access to whatever their addictions might be, but maybe you're locked down in a house with one who has a dependency on you or vice versa. This is a time of positive transformation and healing. Keep an eye on that. That's a heavy duty. Look, I would understand someone would thumbs down this, but that's why I say focus on your breath. Does it resonate? And if it resonates, this is a message to help you heal. It's just how it rolls, you know? Yeah, welcome to divination, right? This is how this goes. So, let's see if we can add a little insult to injury with the Chuck Spezzano love pack. Voices of the Ascended Masters that they are. Half the deck is the problem suit, so let's see if you get one of those. The other half, though, is the suit of luck, the suit of healing, and the suit of grace. Let's see what the Ascended Masters say for you. Nice deep breath, my darlings. Oh, my Ascended Masters, please, one card in clarity. For this Capricorn collective, Sun, Moon, rising sign for this new moon in Aries to full moon next in Libra, please. What do they need? What do they need to heal? What do they need to look at? What do they need to address this new moon to full moon next, March to April 2020, my masters? We do have a problem suit, and it is the problem of rules. Now, these are not healthy boundary kind of rules or things that you value in terms of, well, these are the rules. If you want to be my lover, you got to get with my friends, right? Those kind of rules. This is about the rules that we create in order to keep things stagnant, right? To keep ourselves separate from each other. It's like we don't talk about that in this family, right? Like there's a rule that's not healthy. So we're looking at not the healthy boundaries, but the unhealthy ones, right? Well, if I'm going to do this, I have to have a drink, right? It's like, well, that's a self-imposed rule that's not healthy. So I'm going to reflex back to this card of Taurus, right? What are the fixed values in your life? And do your rules about these things need to shift? I will say this about boundaries, and I think this is incredibly important. Boundaries shift and grow as we shift and grow. In other words, I've said this 100 times. Don't talk to strangers, although a wonderful Rick Springfield song is great for kids, but toxic for adults, right? How are you going to get through this world without talking to strangers, right? So a time of positive transformation and healing with that angel of addiction healing, with listening, keeping it in the eye with that Capricorn and that Taurus card, and understanding that there is a union of hearts here, a connection of love that defies explanation, that you have to really look at your rules, right? What are your rules of conduct, for example? What is it that you will do and won't do? And what are the rules that you might not even know you are operating under that are keeping you bound in a toxic situation? Something to address for sure. Definitely a waning cycle in terms of your healing, but so comes the understanding. And again, listening to what's going on in your own energy field, your own intuitive stuff, is going to be very helpful. One more card down, and I think this will be hopefully very helpful, because we are dealing with the Healing Mantra deck by Matt Kahn. One side of the card is the name of the mantra, the other the mantra itself. I'll look it up in the book, because otherwise there ain't nothing else written on these cards, but these are incredibly helpful. By the repetition of mantras, we signal to our souls that we are really, well, we may not be ready, we may not be able, but that we are willing to integrate and work with the type of healing that the mantra indicates. Cool? Let's take a nice deep breath from the Ascended Masters who gave us this card of rules. Let's see what they say your healing mantra is. Here we go. My Ascended Masters, please, one card in clarity for this Capricorn collective Sun, Moon, Rising sign. What is the mantra that they need? What do they need in terms of the perfect healing mantra to help them really deal with what's going on here? Because it's such a mixed bag here. We've got those very strong, dominant Earth sign court cards there. Taurus in the Divine Feminine, Capricorn in the Divine Masculine for Capricorn read. That doesn't shock me. And that card of listening, that the angels are listening to you or you listening to them. The Union of Hearts, connection of love that defies explanation, dealing with rules in some kind. But the one that really upends this for me is the Angel of Addiction Healing. So please, since it's the Angel of Addiction Healing, what is the perfect healing mantra there? Please, some clarity, some guidance, and some grace for this Capricorn collective Sun, Moon, Rising sign for this new moon in Aries to full moon next in Libra. Please, Ascended Masters. That was enough prologue. That should get us something. Dissolving judgments. I don't have to like the actions of others in order to love my journey. I have a feeling you might be locked down with an addict. Oh, is that what this is? Are you having to reassess rules that are no longer healthy but toxic with this person? And it doesn't mean that you can't love them. I don't have to like the actions of others in order to love my journey and in order to love them. Okay, that makes way more sense. But you might have to address that you might have been enabling and not know it. Plenty of times we're enabling people and we don't even know we're doing it. It can be a real slap in the face or a, splash of cold water on us. Dissolving judgments. I don't have to like the actions of others in order to love my journey. When judgments are dissolved, you don't have to enjoy the actions of others in order to glean benefit from them. You with me? When you know that every moment has been created to help each soul shine the brightest, it becomes easier to not take things personally. Instead, you are able to appreciate the positions life has put you in as evidence of your evolving mastery and form. I'm going to highly recommend, of course, as soon as I hear, Don't Take Things Personally, The Four Agreements by Don Miguel Ruiz. That was his first book that I'm aware of. His second book, The Mastery of Love, because that word mastery jumps out at me here too. Your evolving mastery in form. Might be very, very helpful to help you unplug in a healthy way without abandoning somebody, right? So that you can do what you came to do in this life and take your path of destiny. This mantra is ideal for learning to speak your truth, cultivating empathy, and trusting the universe. I don't have to like the actions of others in order to love my journey. Putting this together, right? The angels say listening. Listening to what? The voice of the Divine Feminine is saying second house, Taurus, stable, firm, fertile, lifelong values. The Divine Masculine is really probably saying keep it in the eye, keep it in yourself, focus on you. I'm going to skip around here. These aren't a timeline anyway. That there is a union of hearts here that defies explanation. And if you're finding yourself saying, how the hell did I get here? Why am I still in this relationship? Why? I can't explain it, because this is a connection of love that defies explanation. Pre-incarnationally agreed, this is a soul contract. Whether it's soulmate or twin flame, I can't tell you from this particular reading. But there are rules involved here, and maybe some of those rules are really toxic. Like, I'm going to do what I want, and I'm going to scare the crap out of you every now and again, but you're not allowed to say anything about it. You're not allowed to call me on my shit, right? But with that card of listening, are you listening to your better angels? Because the angel of addiction healing, this is a time of positive transformation and healing, and let's not underestimate the positive transformation that comes out of it. It may not be easy, sometimes we think positive means easy. No, sometimes positive means simple, but simple need not imply easy. Something else from the Course in Miracles I learned the hard way. So it might be as simple as saying, I can't watch you do this anymore. If you're going to do this, you're going to do it alone, because I love you too much. That's simple, just not easy. They're words and they're boundaries, but they are not easy. So this mantra, dissolving judgments, I don't have to like the actions of others in order to love my journey, I think will be very, very helpful. And I really sense that that this addiction healing that's going on, yeah, you might unwittingly have been enabling in some way, shape, or form, particularly if someone's addicted to the news feed, someone who's addicted to negativity, someone who's addicted to positionality in terms of the political nature of one side versus the other, whether it's in literal politics or otherwise. Slow and steady wins the race. You take care of you. Because you know what? I've never met a Capricorn I didn't like. I've had a few relationships with them. They can be a little Eeyore from time to time, but they do get younger as they grow older. And so you've got a lot of fun ahead of you. You've got a lot of wisdom under your belt. Do not forget that, my Capricorn brothers and sisters. I love you all so much. So may the Capricorn collective Sun, Moon, Rising sign be blessed with all that they need this new moon in Aries to full moon next in Capricorn, that they may heal, that they may listen and know that they are being heard by their angels, that they may dissolve judgments and have a good look at those rules that perhaps at one point were of great value but no longer serve them as Capricorns, and help them heal and deal with this union of hearts that defies explanation for the well-being of all. My gods, my angels, my higher selves, the higher selves and the ascended masters, please, may they be so blessed this new moon to full moon next. So mote it be, and so it is. Thank you for watching, my Capricorns. I know that was a little bit of a rough ride there. Do check your other signs. See if there's something else going on that you can focus on in addition to. Cool, cool. Wishing you, honestly, the very best and the very blessed of this new moon to full moon next. Hail, farewell, and blessed, blessed be.